If you're looking to get outside to do some running, improve your fitness, or even just drop some body fat, this video talks about the MAF Formula, where I break down the training intensity or how hard you should be working in order to get a response, to get a bit fitter, to lose some fat. It's going to be pertinent to you for your age and your training history and where you're at right now. This is called the MAF Formula. Phil Maffetone came up with this in the 70s. He's been using it with thousands of runners worldwide ever since. It's a lot less complicated than the 220 minus your age and then some percentage of that to work out your training heart rate zone. So 180 minus your age will give you your MAF formula. But what you need to do is also modify that from the categories of, if you're recovering from illness, you need to deduct another 10. If you are injured or regress or not improving, then deduct 5. If you are consistent and you've been training 4 times a week for the last 2 years without injury, then don't deduct anything at all. And if you've been training for 2 years without any problems and progressing, add 5. So an example I've used here is myself, a 45-year-old with a history of being injured in the last year and not improved on cardio because I'm not consistent with cardio and I don't do it that much. So what I do is I take 5 off my MAF heart rate. So my heart rate here is 180 minus my age is 45, which brings it down to 135 beats a minute, minus another 5, which brings me to the total of 130 beats a minute. That's the range that I want to train at. So I train this heart rate using a monitor, or I can use a rate of perceived exertion. If I don't have a heart rate monitor to keep me on 130 beats a minute, I can use an estimated RPE, which is rate of perceived exertion, 6 out of 20. If you imagine that 6 and you add a 0 is 60, that's like 60 beats a minute. So if I'm wanting to get an idea of how hard to work, 60 BPM equals 6. Whereas if I need to work at 130, then it's basically 13. So my new 13, that is my RPE out of 20. So how do I feel when I'm working at 13 out of 20? Well, I'm training harder, but it's sustainable. It's hard but sustainable, so I can maintain that. And some of the protocols that are ideal to use are things like a 4x4, where you train 4 minutes, rest 3 minutes, using whatever cardiovascular training you like to do. You might do running, row, cycle, box, resistance, or whatever that may be. You can do any of those things, which is going to make sure that your heart rate is keeping to 130 beats a minute using RPE or the heart rate monitor. You don't go over the 130 beats a minute, you stay on that. So if you find that you're going up a hill on your run, you're jogging up the hill, okay, you're going up this way and all of a sudden your heart rate gets to 135, you don't go faster or maintain that, you need to slow down. Slow down even to a walk if you need to, this that you're getting back to that heart rate 130. If your heart rate continues to elevate because of your lack of fitness or conditioning, you need to really slow down to a walk or avoid the inclines and take the flats. So there's a bit of an example of how you can work on how hard to work out in order to improve your energy system for your running or any sort of cardio you're working on. What you'll find is over time, and this is the exciting part, over time you'll need to stay with that heart rate. But in order to stay at that, what's going to happen is when you get to this same hill that you used to stop on and walk on, you'll end up running up it, probably even faster because your body has responded to that and you've been training at that for X amount of time. between 4 to 8 weeks to get some sort of response. You won't have to slow down, you'll be able to keep going. In order to maintain that heart rate, you'll be having to train harder. You'll feel that the system is working better for you, energy system working better for you, and you'll be a lot fitter.